guess I'm live again. It could be... I could be live. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that I am now live. Broadcasting live. Now, most of you probably... Here I go. I'm literally going to talk to nobody? No. What I'm going to do is talk about... I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm going into this... I did this, so in case you don't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm studying Scott Robertson's book, which reminds me I've got to get it. Sorry about the wait. Just getting going here. Gotta get to the next exercise. You know what? Alright, we're gonna do the next exercise. First we're gonna do the same exercise we did last time, because what we did last time was, let's see, this origin, yeah, don't need those. Okay, division, so this whole thing, okay. So, done is the whole thing. So, the last time we looked at this, our perspective ruler was on because you have to have your perspective ruler on in order to use it. You don't have to have a perspective ruler on in order to do perspective. But if you're going to use Clip Studio Paint's perspective ruler and use it, you can't have it invisible, which would be good if you could, but you can't. That's my point. So, what I did was I have this set up and I have my, what I call the 90-degree thing, and the cone, 60-degree cone of vision, which is basically cone of vision thing. But this is the standard setup for your standard. Let me hide the 90-degree thing, and let me hide the perspective ruler. This is, let me duplicate this so I can move it around without moving it. Where to go? Cone 60. So if I hide the one that I just didn't do, here's the duplicated one. Anyway, my point is that this is an object, and whoops, and I have it set for rotation. I set it for scale. This is a cone of vision thing. So what you do is you take your, you say, oh, I want to make a, what do you call it? A picture plane. So a picture plane is the sort of, you know, perspective jargon for, like, I want to draw something, right? I want to draw something, so I need a piece of paper or a canvas or a can of soda. What difference does it make, right? You can put blah blah blah. Cone of vision is a thing. If I wanted to draw, let me hide everything. Where am I? Oh yeah. If I hide everything, oh, except my cone of vision. Done. Okay. So my cone of vision thing, this is a thing. And what you want to do is you want to be well inside the cone of vision. So pretend this is a physical piece of paper and pretend that this is like a great big poster, right? Well, I want a bigger poster, much bigger. I want my cone of vision to be deep within, because what the cone of vision represents is the concept of distortion and perspective. Once you, if you don't, watch what happens when I draw this box. I'm going to draw the box I'm gonna rasterize this so I can draw a box on it. No, I can't do that. Here's how to explain it. It's really actually is quite simple. If I use this as a one-point perspective tool, which is what this basically is, except it's missing the 90-degree thing. You're supposed to have that. What was I just thinking? If this is just a perspective tool, right? And I take my micron pen and I make sure it's set for 3. And I go in here and I draw a cube, cone. Oh, I didn't rasterize that. There, now it's rasterized. Oh, I didn't want to rasterize it. Right. I don't want to rasterize it. I need to draw in the work area. So I got my micron ruled pen and I'm going to draw a box along the I know this isn't exciting, but I'm going to demonstrate something when you draw a box. Now, this isn't prospectively accurate. Actually, it is funny because I kind of, yes, that's what I did that on purpose because I can't help but draw properly in perspective. So this would be straight, and this would be very, not, it would be just barely noticeable. But you would see it because it's the top, because of the concept of this sight line. Now, when I draw, so first of all, I want you to understand that this box has quite a bit of distortion in it. In fact, it may be too long. I wouldn't know. I think Scott Robertson's going to teach me how to know that. But let's forget about whether this is too much distortion or not. And you may not have even considered that. But when you're considering perspective and stuff, you want to consider that. Do I want an extreme angle or an extreme foreshortening? Anyway, it's very typical that you would draw a bunch of buildings, right? If we were to draw this building out here, building this cube out here, so the idea here is that we've got a lot of distortion going on. Oh, this is not a good demonstration. I wish I wasn't wasting time trying to explain things I really don't understand, but I'm telling you this cone of vision thing is important. And again, the concept somehow is demonstrable that this is bad. This is a thing of it should be this big because of the degree. Wow, what the hell am I trying to say? This. Take all that away, go to the cone, shrink it so we can see it, understand that you want to either draw a picture plane in here, basically. That's the idea. If you want extreme things happening, you go, more like here. Maybe you really want some extreme angles. You need to go here. It doesn't mean you make the picture bigger. It means you, whoops, Z, Y. It means you, oh my goodness. What it means is you make the cone of vision smaller. Whoops, what is you doing? Make the cone of vision smaller. At this point, because most picture planes are have these, are not circular, you get extreme, you get extreme distortion up here. These parts of the picture plane, when using this as your, do you know what a station point is? This is you. This is how your eyes see. They see at roughly a 60-degree angle. Then you put this, so let's get rid of that one and look at our original one. Because now we're going to get rid of work. We're going to go back to done. And we're going to bring these back. And we're going to say, you see how my point is, I'm deep within the cone of vision thing. And I used perspective based on this perspective. However, what is a funny thing? Last night, I changed my perspective using the 90-degree thing. And again, some of this would, if anybody was listening, they would say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I totally get that. If people can somehow stomach this and want to know more, then I'll get into it. Of course, I'm going to build these things from scratch every time. If I keep doing the live streams, I will build illustrations this way until I don't need to. So this is going to go on for a while. If you do know something about perspective, you might be thinking, I've seen that before, but I don't get it. I've seen that before, but I don't get it. Now, obviously, there's the third kind of person who knows exactly what I'm doing. And it says, you think that's very fascinating, don't you? I look at the world like that all day. That's what I'm beginning to do now. All right. So this 90-degree thing was set at a true 90 degrees. Relative to the cone of vision. And I tilted it to be, let's see, good old Mr. Robinson will actually tell me. Remember, once we have this cone of vision, I should definitely lock this for this illustration. Because you don't need it anymore. That's not what you use. See this here? That's all we need. That's all we need. That's all we needed in the first place. Again, the point is, obviously, I'm not going to need any of this at some point if I keep going. So let me see. I wanted to use the cone of vision to see if I have set up a quote-unquote normal perspective, because he lists some common perspective choices of draftsmen and stuff. But good artists have a sixth sense for draftsmanship. So we're talking about my cone of vision. We're not going quite 30, we're going like 25 maybe. 25. And this one would be, I guess you'd just call it 75 and call it a day. Because what it would be, because this is a perfect 90 degrees, if this is literally 28 degrees, the degree I'm talking about is, you see this? That's the line that you're confined to this. So that's why the circle is this big, because you take a point and you get, how do you, oh yes, because what happens is if you make a point at the center of the edge of the circle and drag it down 60 degrees, and you make another one and drag it down 60 degrees, and they coincide, which means that's you right there. Not because we've decided it, it's because the 60-degree delineation decided it. This is you looking at this circle. This circle is, you getting all this? This circle represents the reality of how you see. And what you can't see is distorted. You would never recognize it because you can't see it. We call it an illustration distortion. We call it that trouble you have when you try to draw when you try to use a perspective ruler or something in a 3D environment or what you call it, and you find that if you want to make something look long, it always looks like this. And it's like, I don't want it to look like that. It's like, I don't want it to be, and I don't want it to be that short. Like, I don't know what I'm drawing. Well, here's how we try to get around that. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, and I don't know if anybody would understand what I was saying. But often when you try to draw in perspective, you just find that you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Especially these I'm talking specifically about digital. Or even not digital, I mean, if you're putting the lines on the paper, you're doing perspective wrong. The problem is if you're working with paper or whatever, if you can see perspective, you're fine. But if you don't understand what perspective is and you gotta use some contraption to get those vanishing points way out of the picture plane. They don't belong in the picture plane. They only belong in one point perspective. So I've gone on about that because I think that it's real interesting. Because what I did was, this started out as a standard cone of vision. Now the cone of vision includes this 90-degree thing. But the 90-degree thing has to be made into this 90-degree thing because it is called an object in Clip Studio Paint, which is very convenient because I can set it for rotate. And now I can decide where that 90-degree will fall. Now last night I realized that I could do this at will and so did it. But I had drawn this on the old perspective and forgot to redraw it according to the new perspective. And right now I've just moved how much you want to bet I put that back right? Where is my perspective ruler? Look at that. That's pretty close. That's because, because I knew what it was. Jesus Christ. All right, so I guess I have a clue. All right. So I gotta go to the done layer. Everything's all set. My perspective layer, my perspective ruler in Clip Studio Paint is visible. This does not need to be visible because this perspective ruler is now this, and so shall now be locked so that I don't move it by accident. And then I've got to go into this thing here and get rid of this. How about you press the right button? Oh, I must not be on the done layer. Done layer, goodbye. How about we do a little addition to this? All right, now, one of the things I said about the world is that turn snapping off because I'm going to make the horizon. Now, what do I mean I'm going to make the horizon? Isn't the horizon built into your little perspective tools here? No. If we turn off the cone of vision, we see that we have this line in Clip Studio Paint. I explained this yesterday. I might be wrong about this. I've placed the crosshairs of the Clip Studio Paint ruler in the middle of the picture plane, roughly. It is not important. I discovered that here, that it is not terribly important. It's really not going to change things so much. I literally moved, okay, you just put it in the center. It represents the middle. If you wanted to get anal, you simply get your picture plane. Let's be anal. Let's define our picture plane center point and put it there. You see, the thing with me is I'm double thinking everything because I'm not sure what I should say and what I shouldn't say. So I'm just rambling every thought that comes into my head. And the fact that I can't be sure anyone's actually listening, like, you have to be, it's nice to watch my videos, but I haven't had any art people like come in here and want to talk about perspective with me yet. Okay, so what am I doing? Yeah, I want to move this. I gotta go to that layer, and that is the perspective layer, and I locked it, so I gotta unlock it. So now I'm going to put this in the center. I'm sure that the more I zoom in, the more in the center I will be. That's good enough for me. I don't believe it matters, but we're doing experiments here. Okay, what I did was wrong. I don't want to do that. Bink. The reason I don't want to do that is because I have my perfect 90 degrees, and I don't want to change that. So that's the funny thing. I'm going to now move my perspective ruler, but I'm not going to move the ruler. I'm going to move the layer. I'm not going to use the object tool to select the ruler like this. I'm going to go to the ruler layer, make sure I'm at the perspective ruler, and I'm going to use the move layer. I renamed this move position, move layer. I think it's originally called move layer. I like to call it position, and you can do that in Clip Studio Paint. So now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to move the layer. That means I'm not actually changing the ruler at all because the ruler is dynamic. Okay, we've done that. There. Zippity doodah. And now we're going to go to the work layer and we're going to erase those things. And then we're going to go and, I did some smudgies. And we're going to draw the damn rectangle. Now, as I was saying about the horizon line, you usually put your, these are vanishing points, right? And I can add to these vanishing points. Let's go to the perspective ruler, get the object tool, and tell this thing to do here, move the object, move layers, keep original. I know that I can add. I go to the perspective ruler. Perspective ruler, change, add vanishing point. Yeah. So now it's like saying, what do you want to do? Yeah, add vanishing point. So boing. Oh, no. That's not right. I don't want to do that. Oh yeah, I can. Can I? What the heck? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Object tool, get this. That's the wrong thing. I want to put this right on there. That's silly. I could have, oops, I knew I'd end up moving it, but undo. I could have sworn you could add, you probably can. Anyway, who cares? The point is your line snaps to it, and that's good. Or it doesn't snap to it when you need to not do that. Anyway, where are we here? What are we doing? Yeah. Don't let this, yeah, so in other words, trust me when I tell you that these are 90 degrees, and I know that because of this. Zoop, that's 90 degrees. If you don't know why that matters, it's because you don't know enough about perspective. We'll continue to talk about that as the days continue. Right now, it's just like, I guess the only reason anyone would tune in is if they saw me do something instead of yapping away. So I'm going to grab my pencil, I'm going to go to my work layer, and I'm going to draw something cool. Why not, right? Let's see if I can. Okay, first thing I want to do is snap. I'm going to draw. Oh, yeah, I was talking about the horizon. The horizon, I totally got lost there. This is not necessarily your horizon. If I'm deciding that I want the camera to look in space, then that can't be the horizon. It very often is the case that you want to create some kind of imaginary horizon behind all this stuff that you're drawing. And so you just call that your horizon, because that's where you want the viewer's eyes to be looking. That's where you want the horizon. The funny thing about a horizon is people have demonstrated this. This is why the horizon line is confused with the center of vision line. Because this is a center of vision line, and I also need record of this. This is a center of vision line. And since we did move our ruler layer, we moved the layer, we didn't change the ruler. It's time to make our cone a non-locked object and put it here where it belongs. Let's lock our cone back up, and let's lock our perspective back up. Now, where was I talking about? Oh yeah, this is your center. This is your vanishing line. This is a horizon line. Okay. This is very often used as a horizon line. There's nothing wrong with thinking of it that way. It's just that that's not what it is. There's nothing wrong with using the vanishing line as your horizon line. It's just that that's not what this is. This is the vanishing line. This represents the center of your eyeballs. It's often very convenient to use that as the horizon line. Let's demonstrate a funny phenomenon. Now, I wish that I could sketch people really cool, really quick, but let me show you something that people have shown me on the interwebs. Get yourself a marker and draw a dot here, and make sure you're not snapping. So here's a dot, right? Now here's a body, okay? That's a person. So you want to draw another person, right? Yes, you do that, and you do that like that. And then you draw another person, and they're a little bit bigger, and they're like that. That's looking down on these people. The funny thing is, once you get this line of sight thing going on, you got something called, if this was my horizon, all the people would be like this, if they were the same height. I don't fully understand this phenomenon, but you see that doesn't look odd, right? That's because we're using this as our horizon line. I will be honest. I'm not sure how these people fit on the ground when your horizon line, when your vanishing line is above your horizon line. But I'm still learning. So let's get rid of these people. What did I just have there? Oh yeah, I'm gonna draw something cool, supposedly. So I'm gonna get some snapping going, and I know I'm gonna go above the vanishing line, right? Now I'm gonna go below the vanishing line. If you know anything about perspective, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know anything about perspective, what that means is this line goes up and this line goes down. Literally, that's what it means. That's what this is. This is the zone of up and the zone of down. Now, straight on things don't go up or down. There is no depth to this object because it's not in 2-point perspective. I just drew it in 1-point perspective. In fact, if I go like this, oops, I'm still snapping. No wonder it came out so good. So take off my snapping and go like this, right? See, that's 1-point perspective. Why? Because only 1 point. This doesn't go back here like this, right? Okay, enough of that. So this is a 2-point perspective thing. Up she goes. So now, we'll go down. Oh, I just said we go up. Well, what it means is you go up from here. Whoops, where's my... I didn't even snap. Yeah, it's gonna go... Well, actually, yeah, see, I don't know what I'm talking about. The snap is right along, it's barely up at all because it's parallel. Just drawn another 1-point perspective. No. Because this level, this close, yeah, they see it's going up. Oh, I could, yeah. Here's what's happening. Clip Studio Paint can confuse which one you use. Watch this. Let's go to our perspective ruler. Let's go to the object thing so we can select it. Perspective ruler is locked. We have to go here. So check it out. This thing. I'm gonna mess this thing up, right? So see how straight that is? That's what's happening. So this is gonna go down, technically. If this was way up here, this would go down. It doesn't look down, but it is going down. And I said it goes up. Well, it goes up from here and up from here. Or it goes down, or it goes down. See, if you go down here, right, you say, oh, it's going up. Oh, it's going down. It's all relative. And then the next thing you know, you're completely confused. I don't have to worry about where this is, but I am gonna get it out of my way because we got enough stuff going on, right? Okay, where's the Scott Robinson thing? Well, before I do the Scott Robinson exercise, which will this time, yesterday I didn't do it based on this perspective. I actually drew it and then changed the perspective and then forgot to redraw the thing. So not that it matters, but I'm just gonna do it again for the hell of it because I wanna see if I learn anything from it. And in order to make it look kind of cool, I'm gonna just give it a little bit of dimension. And so I'm gonna do this, and I don't wanna do that, I want that, and I want this. Oops, I need to turn snapping off and go like this. Oops, go like that. And then I'm gonna go like that, and then I'm gonna go like that, just to give a little bit of a coolness factor to this. Oh, I'm also gonna use I'm gonna turn snapping back on because I want to follow that line. All right, there, now it's cool. Watch this. I gotta turn snapping off. Oh, well, there is a way, and that way is to use the snapping ruler and go like this, and then say, and use the snapping ruler here and go like this. And this just needs to be a little indication, so I'll just use my eraser and just get, hey, is snapping on? Oh, I just drew all that stuff on my perspective ruler. I hate when I do that. So I want to erase this. What's happening? Oh, that's why, because my perspective ruler has one drawing on it and my work layer has another drawing on it. You people do know how important it's supposed to be to keep track of your layers, don't you? Okay, that is definitely too drastic, so let's make it a lot less drastic. And this one we're going to have to use the invisible pixels because it's too tight to get in there. And same thing with this. Get those invisible pixels going. Here we're just going to use the eraser, so I'll switch back to my regular color and get my eraser and just give it a little swank like that. Now I'm gonna cheat here because I'm not gonna include the assignment in the cool parts. I'm just gonna go right for the plain. All right. So what I want to do is I got my ruler here, and this ruler was set for. So we're back to this now. We got this segmented ruler, even segments of 5. Trust me, it's in even segments of 5. So I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna put it right here where I want, right here. Forget about the shape that I created the illusion of. All I care about is this square box right here. I just decided to show you that you can have fun with these exercises. The point is that planes are important parts of things. So now what we need to do is we need to get our perspective ruler. We have to select the perspective ruler layer and then use our object tool to activate the perspective layer, the ruler on the perspective layer. And there are ways to set this thing to, so you can it'll select the layer for you and stuff, but whatever. So we want to go through this corner of the box. And why is that? Well, it's because we want to segment this. I need my object tool again because what's supposed to happen here, I gotta go to the ruler layer, select the ruler, go like this. What has to happen, this is funny, this is even worse. Like, really? Are you serious? I have to go out that much of the picture plane. Well, this is, again, this is one of the most important parts about why I'm even bothering to stream, because this is really mind-blowing. If you want to study perspective, and you have Clip Studio Paint and you haven't dug in to your rulers, this is why having this is phenomenal, because you don't have to use a ruler in order to figure out how to do perspective. Did I just say you don't have to use a ruler? Just imagine doing this in a real piece of paper on your table, right? Like, the reality is that in order to do this exercise, I have to do it in a squished version. I can't do it like I would really do it in the real world. Clip Studio Paint, I can. Go way out here. It's crazy, but that's the thing. Way outside of the picture plane. And then we grab our pencil, and we get our lines, ruled edge. We got the enable snapping. Oh, don't forget this. Whenever you stretch your ruler like that, you actually have to stretch. This is another thing. You don't want to move your ruler with this because it won't stay straight. I mean, you can be very careful and make it stay straight. And usually when you pull it back like that, it doesn't have too much issue. It's when you make a big move like that, it's really stretching away from the center point, its anchor point. Did I use all the right words today so that everybody understands all this? So if you don't know anything about perspective, you totally know what I'm doing. This does not have to be done this way, but what this is doing is projecting an exact science onto the plane, whereas the other way that Scott told me to do it, which is how I did it up here, which is this, is to come up with this arbitrarily. Okay, now we're going to actually do the exercise. Can you believe it? So I'm snapping, so I just start here and I just go there. And I get way out here. And the beauty of this is you don't have to be too careful. At this point, I'm tired of talking. All that matters is all that really matters is that I get to this point here. What is it? Oh, it's, what is it? What's going on? Oh. I do think it's weird that it's way out there. All I need to get to is this point. That's all I care about. Because now I'm going to do this. I said this last time. Finding the center point of this is kind of tricky. Because when you zoom in this far, your pencil lines are actually kind of, what do you call that? Thick. So where exactly is the center? But I'm sure it's close enough. And then this one. Alright, I'm going to turn off my comb. I'm going to drop the work down onto the sketch layer. And let's see, we did some of this work on the perspective ruler, which is one of the reasons you should lock it. Lock it. Alright, so there's my sketch layer. So now I'm going to go to the work layer and move it back where it belongs. Go to the work layer, get my cool Micron pen and set it for 5, and then I'm going to go like this. Oh yeah, I'm not going to use the perspective ruler now because I'm going to have snapping off. Because now I'm drawing. Even if I am using a tool that cheats. This is the well, I just told my micron. Supposed to emulate the look of a micron. Yeah, see, now that I've made this, I don't actually know what it looks like. Yeah, what I did was I did some construction and then didn't finish the construction. So whatever. We'll call it style and be done with it. So here's the point. If I go here, oops, if I go here to here, here to here, and here. Let me turn off my ruler because I don't need that. To here, and here, to here, and here, to here. The point is that this part right here this is the part that's actually in perspective. Wow, it certainly doesn't look it. Did I do something wrong? I mean, honestly, doesn't look like it's in perspective at all. Let's use shift, go straight up and down. I mean, I don't know. Let's see, how much bigger? Yeah, this one's pretty big, but this one's tiny. It doesn't look right. Oh, okay, well, you win some, you lose some. Does that look right? It doesn't look right to me. What happened? Well, that's funny. And the ruler, I mean, definitely the ruler is why is it so far out? One, two, three, 4, and 5. The fifth one looks, oh, I know why. I know why. Because I did this thing. That's why. Because it's not just a regular plane. Let's get rid of, where are we here? Work. Let's put work on another temp layer. And hide it. I don't know. Whoops. I don't know. Oh, wait a second. First thing. Well, whatever. We'll make this. We'll make this. Oh yeah, I should use snapping just to make sure that this and this and this and this and this, and this. That seems like a giant leap. And this, but they're not perfectly centered. This one's probably supposed to be over here, and this one's probably supposed to be, right about where it is. That's funny. I guess maybe it's receding that far back. I don't know. It seems like this is way too small. I don't understand. It's supposed to work. I mean, watch this. I know what's going to happen here because, well, you can see it. It's right there. The line is going right to it. Yeah, that one's not right. This one needs to be here. And this one needs to be here. Doesn't it just seem like this one's much bigger than this one, but then this one's not so much bigger than this one? I wonder if I added another one, would it really drive me crazy? Because if I went like this, I know how to figure it out. Watch this. Turn off snapping. I know how to figure this out. Check it out. Turn snapping on. That's the center. Turn snapping off. Bam. Alright, it's slightly off. It's off a little bit. It should be right here. That's the center. Bam. This and this. If this happens, then this should happen. And it's a bit off somehow. Right? This one, it's already off. Okay, so this one's a little off. So let's put this here and get this one out of here. And let's put this on our sketch layer after we delete the cool thing, because it was too much trouble. More trouble than it was worth, huh? So that explains that. What do I got here? Oh yeah. Let's put this on the sketch layer and put the work layer back, and let's just do it one more time. But yeah, what happened? It didn't work. How come it didn't work? Oh, it's because, yeah, it's, again, remember I said about the fat lines and stuff. I mean, I'm making a very small drawing. This represents an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper. I mean, this is smaller than your average comic book panel, and I'm using a pencil. Where's my pencil? The pencil is 8. 8's a pretty good sized pencil. Most pencils are not that sharp. I mean that dull, right? Or that fat. Anyway, and even if it is that fat, yeah, boy, wasn't this enlightening? Anyway, I gotta draw this again. Gotta make sure this is gonna look right. Let's get my micron. Let's set it for 8. even snapping. Who needs to snap when you've got, when you're when you know what you're drawing. Alright, so this one, whoops. Oh yeah, let's just use A. This one, oh yeah, we fixed it, huh? This one. This one. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna run into this a great many times. I think what happens is that when you do draw in perspective, the littlest mistake stands out. First of all, look at this. I look at this and I say, oh cool, and then I look at it and I say, is it even right? And it's like, it has to be. Well, maybe it's too right. Maybe that's the problem. It just doesn't, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I do think? I guess it's time to stop. It's been an hour. I've talked about perspective. I've tried an exercise. I think I goofed up mostly because of my big fat pencil and I just didn't center things properly. But I demonstrated that I understand perspective rules. I didn't draw anything great. I hope to change that in the future. Anybody gets to this point in the video, goodbye. Check out my other videos. Lots of drawings.